Channel 2, Gnome from Gnome's Tavern. I know he's a bartender and makes a bunch of drinks, especially with Malort, but I would love to hear his choices.
I accept that challenge.
Welcome to Gnome's Tavern. I'm the Gnome, and this is Gnome's Tavern, and we're here for a great episode because we're talking about bourbon. Yes, that's right. I've been challenged by Doc from Old Fashioned Ways to pick a couple of bourbons that fit a certain price range that I like and I enjoy. Now, mostly, I do a lot of my bourbon drinking and cocktails now, but I know a thing or two about bourbon. I am a licensed bourbon steward. I know. You can draw me royalties. And I've competed in 2 bourbon competitions. In fact, I have a Bourbon Festival award right behind me. So I know a thing or two about bourbon, and I wanted to also pick bourbons that didn't come directly from Buffalo Trace, and some bourbons that I think you can pick up pretty much anywhere. I haven't had trouble finding these. So let's join in, but before we start, we need to have a little bourbon to drink, to talk about a little bourbon, and I'm going to drink some of the Jetson bourbon. It was finished in a cask, and a port cask, so I guess technically it's not bourbon, but it's really delicious. I really enjoy it. It was about over 40 bucks. It won't be our pick because it was finished in a cask bourbon, but it will be our pick to enjoy today. But it might come up later. All right, so first things first, it was $15 to $20, and the bourbon I'm going to pick is the bourbon I always pick, especially for cocktails, is the Evan Williams Bottled in Bond 100 proof. This bourbon is really just nice for cocktails, really nice also to drink on its own. I get a lot of nutty notes, so I like to mix it in with different coffees. In fact, this was the bourbon that got me into the first bourbon competition. You can check out the link below. The Evenly Brewed, one of my favorite entries to a competition, got me my ticket into Bourbon Fest. It's just a great one, and for 15 bucks, you know, you make a cocktail, you mess up, whatever. It's great in old fashions. It's also a nice high proof bourbon that's really great. So yeah, Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. Can't beat it for the price. Our next one we're going to talk about is the Wild Turkey 101. I'm sure this is on a lot of people's list. This is going to be the 20 to 25 range. And honestly, you can put Wild Turkey in any of the ranges because you can buy it pretty much any size for any cost. I had to include this one because this is actually my wife's favorite bourbon to make cocktails with. And in fact, this old bottle is gone because of my wife, because she makes whiskey sours all the time. She loves the flavors that come with it, and you know, she doesn't feel bad if she finishes off a bottle. It's just a really great bourbon. I don't know what more you want. All right, so this next one, I actually finished the bottle. It's a 25 to 30 bottle range. And that's going to be the Jetson bourbon. Now, that bourbon is, if you don't know, Jetson is the company that makes Malort. They also make a bourbon. So a lot of times people think that the bourbon tastes like the Malort. But since I've been known to making Malort cocktails, I decided to talk about it. There's, you can also, I believe you can order it pretty much in almost any state. It's a really great, smooth, not offensive bourbon. It's a great one to get people into. It's not very high proof. It's also just really nice. It's very good for newcomers. And you know, it's, like I said, it's great in cocktails like an old fashioned. It's also great in a mint julep and all of those. I have the port cask finish limited edition one. That's what I have right here because I finished the other one. Just a great bourbon. Probably didn't know they made one. So our next bourbon we're going to talk about is the 30 to 40 range. And that's going to be Gunfighter Bourbon, double cask. This bourbon I was actually gifted by my good buddy Gary, who comments a lot of times on the videos, and is my buddy that we play Magic together. This is his favorite bourbon of all time, so I'd be remiss if I left it off my list. It's really good. I really enjoy it. I like sipping it straight. It's a really just nice bourbon. They did finish it in a used port wine cask, so again, you can consider it not a bourbon. But for the $30, it's really great, very interesting flavors, and I hope you guys try it out. I don't know if anybody else has this on their list. So the last bourbon we're going to talk about is the 40 to 50 range. This is the 1792 Full Proof Bourbon. We actually did a review of this on the channel if you check out the link below on this. This is pretty high proof. A lot of high proof on this channel, as you guess what I like to drink. This is really good. It's fantastic. I love sipping on it. This is probably the hardest one to find out of all in my list. I haven't seen this ever since I did buy a bottle, and when this was on the shelf, my buddy at Sazerac House told me, please go run out and grab me a bottle, and grab yourself a bottle and any extra bottles on the shelf for around 50 bucks, a little under 50 bucks. I only bought us the two, and it's really great. I enjoy this one. I like sipping on. If you had a rough day, or if you just want to feel something, this is the 1792. Very delicious, very great, and I hope you guys try it out. So there's were my bourbons. I know the Gunfighter one, you could claim it really wasn't a bourbon because they finished it in a cask finish, but whatever. It's delicious, and I really thought that you guys should go and try it, and I've really enjoyed it. Tell me which ones are your favorite. I guess I have to pass this challenge along. And you know what? I'm going to pass it to the viewers, to the people who watch this channel. I want to see your list. Give me your list. And if I like some, or if I find some interesting ones, we might review it on the show and then do it. But I'd like to thank Doc for inviting me to this challenge. It was a lot of fun going through my bourbon collection. Was not fun when my wife was counting out how much my bourbon collection cost. But we always have a great time. Thank you so much for watching. And always, tip that bartender. Peace, everybody.